What's up, people? This is Real King 10187, and I'm here to give you an updated deck profile on my Macro Rabbit. Well, first I want to give you an update on how I did the tournament yesterday. Did very well, made the top 4 with the Macro Rabbit, so all in all, did pretty good. I think the biggest takeaway from it was siding was extremely difficult for me for this version of the deck. It was hard to figure out exactly what I wanted to side in and out. And the side deck in general was just all over the place. Didn't really have anything good to side deck against. Really, the side deck against Chaos Dragon, which I think was the toughest matchup I had. I faced Chaos Dragon twice, lost both of those, which is the reason why I didn't get any further than top 4. But other than that, the deck played very, very well against everything else. I didn't see any Mermaid decks at all yesterday, and that's really the matchup I really wanted to see. But either way, the deck did pretty well. Made a couple changes to it, and we'll go ahead and get started. Starting off first with 2 Rescue Rabbits, 3 Coppolazols, 3 Sabrosauruses, standard, and of course my 3 Direct Rappas. For the most part, yesterday, all of them played pretty well. I had only 1 dead hand with 3 vanillas. And I think going 5 rounds and then getting all the way to the top 4 and only having 1 hand with the vanillas in my hand, I think that worked out pretty well. So, moving on, 2 Tour Guides, 1 Sangan. Major change for this is I took out the Night Sand, not Night Sand Sorcerer, but Night Assailant, and I replaced them with my 3rd Thunder King. Alright, and the last addition for the monsters, I added in 1 Neospacian Grand Mole. I find that if I had Grand Mole in the deck, it definitely would have made some different changes to it. There's a lot of matchups that Grand Mole would have been far superior with, but that takes care of the monsters. Moving on to the spells, not a whole lot of changes here. Dark Hole, Monster Reborn, Heavy Storm, and Trip MST. And last for the spells, Forbidden Lance. I was running the Trip Forbidden Dress, and Dress put in a lot of work yesterday, a lot of work. But the number one thing that I saw was I was spending a lot of time chaining, and my opponent just decided, hey, we're going to go ahead and burn our resources out and go ahead and get rid of that card. So I was doing a lot of Forbidden Dresses to protect from Dark Hole, Mirror Force, Torrential. And then they just summoned another monster and killed my guy anyway. So I found that it was just a lot easier taking the dress out. And that's it for the spells. Moving on to traps. The key trap, Macrocosmos, still sticking with 2. Solemn Brigade, 2 Torrential Tributes, 2 Bottomless Trap Holes, 2 Compulse, which was amazing all day yesterday, 2 Deep Prisons, which was also putting in a lot of work, and the last change I made was adding in 2 Fiendish Chains. Reasoning for Fiendish Chain, really it allows me to keep their monster on the field long enough to assist with Guaba destroying by battle, especially against the wind-ups, which was one of my more favorable matchups, and also in the mirror as well. All right, we'll go ahead and move on to the side deck. Not a whole. There's a lot of changes to the side deck. The one that didn't was 2 Fossil Dinos, which put in a lot of work yesterday. I mean, a lot of work. It was the number 1 thing that was sided in every game too, and it did pretty well for the most part when I was able to draw it. One of the new changes, 2 Soul Takers. This is primarily for my Chaos Dragon matches. I really, really needed it, and it's one of the cards that I wish I would have had in to begin with. 2 System Downs, no change in that. I didn't play against any Machina Gadget, Card Carry, Geargia. There was no machine builds whatsoever. My 3rd Compulse, I gotta say, Compulse, like I said, Compulse put in a lot of work. That 3rd one would have been very, very helpful as well. Another change, 2 Gonzin matches. Helps out in so many different matchups, and I think it really would have helped out a lot as well, especially in this deck when you can play a lot of 1-for-1 carding, and especially if you lead off with Thunder King, Saber Swords, one of your big guys, and just set up on them, it works out pretty well. And you can always do Rescue Rabbit into Saber Swords and just drop you a rank 4 exceed. Another change, Needle Sealing. I think Needle Sealing would have been great yesterday. Especially against those wind-up matches. Despite the fact I didn't have any problems beating wind-up yesterday, I faced them a total of 4 times. I didn't lose at all against wind-up, so I had a pretty good matchup against them. But hey, Needle Sealing would have been great to play alongside her as well. Royal Decree. Didn't have to use it yesterday, however, it's still a great card to have in there. And lastly, 2 Soul Drains. Again, I didn't play Soul Drain at all yesterday. There was really wasn't any reason to play against it or to play with it outside of Chaos Dragon for just Pulsar. But in the 2 matchups I played, the first match we went to 3 games and Pulsar only came out once, which was odd. But that's just the way the cards fell. And in the second match, it was a clean sweep. He got me completely swarmed on both game 1 and 2. Alright, moving on to the extra deck. Really absolutely no change in here. Moving on, first up, 2 Dolka, 2 Logia, pretty standard. 2 Larivir. Do I need to? No, not really. That one really came out and that was about it. Didn't really need a second one. But at the moment, I don't really have any other rank 3s I really want to just throw in here and play with. Maestroke. Shockmaster, which actually did come out twice yesterday. I was very surprised, but it came out a lot more often than I expected. 1 Leviathan Dragon, 1 Giga Brilliant, Acid Golem, never really saw a need to play him at all. Utopia Ray, still to this day, I've played this card once ever, but you know, keep it in there just for shits and giggles. 1 Butterfly, put in some work against that Spirit Reaper. And finally Zenmaines, who also got some playtime as well yesterday. But that is it. That's my build, my revamp build of the Macro Rabbit deck. If you got any comments, suggestions, you know, leave them down below. And as always, make sure you subscribe if you like the videos. Give me any additional suggestions. And as always, when you enter the throne room, bow down to the king.